1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, guys, let's have a look at Inter-City Stomp by Christopher Norton from his Microjazz Collection number 2. It's a kind of a neat little piece that's very easy to learn, thankfully. All right, having a look at the left hand, this should be pretty quick. There's only 2 notes that he uses for the majority of the piece. Now, the last 2 measures of this piece are slightly different, but also not terribly difficult to play. All right, so in the left hand, you're just repeating these staccato quarter notes. And you'll notice that you're only playing G or E flat. All right, so you just have to pay attention where it changes from G to E flat and then back to G, okay? Now, just as a side note, there are 2 flats in the key signature. Now, if you don't know what that means, right? That means there's a B flat and an E flat in the piece. So every time you read a B or an E, they're actually flats, B flat and E flat. Okay, and in the left hand, that only affects your 3rd finger here when you play E flat. Okay, so we only have those 2 notes, G and E flat. Now, the most important part of this piece, or the most important element of the piece, really is the left hand. It drives the entire piece. It's counting for the right hand in effect. So no matter what the right hand is doing, you're going to try and keep that left hand really steady, just going steadily. Now, when you're playing left hand alone, it's really easy to be steady. But when we mix in the right hand, that might be a little harder for you to stay steady. But your goal when you're working on this piece is to keep that left hand hitting those quarter notes steadily, okay? And as a note for the staccato, I would recommend maybe not being too short on the staccato. You can if you want, but being maybe a heavier staccato. That's just my personal preference. All right, guys, let's have a look at the right hand. Now, the right hand only plays in 2 different hand positions here. Okay, watch out, in the beginning of this piece, the right hand is playing in bass clef along with the left hand. Okay, so you're going to be playing here around the middle C. All right, so the 2 hand positions that we're using are G minor, a G minor 5-finger position here, right? And when that, in G minor, you have your middle finger on the B flat here. Remember, our key signature has 2 flats, of which the B flat is the first one. All right, in measure 5, or to pick up the measure 5, you're going to change down 1 tone to F major hand position. All right, and that's an important change to make, okay? And later in the piece, we're going to go up 1 octave and play again in G minor, and then later again in F major. There are 2 exceptions to this. That's the last 2 measures of the piece and measure 11. We will talk about that a little bit later. Okay? Now, at the beginning, let's go back to G minor, all right? We play basically the same passage 4 times in a row. So you're going this D, C, B flat, G. It's kind of the theme of the piece. It's 4 times the same thing. Then you're going to change to F major. And Now stay in this F major position for these offbeat notes. Okay? So we're using 2 and 5. Okay, and then we're going to go up 1 octave and basically do the same thing. Now let's talk about measure 11. All right? So after we play 2 times our theme, right? Christopher Norton, the composer, he changes the theme a little bit, right? And he goes and returning to G minor. All right, so in measure 11, what did I do? I just opened my hand out a little bit. It's really important that you keep your thumb on G, okay? Keep your thumb on G and try to find all the lines of the treble clef there, because you're playing on all the lines of the treble clef here, okay? So remember, all the lines, basically, the lines of the treble clef look like that. It's every other note, right? E, G, B, D, F, okay? So we're gonna try to put your 2nd, 4th, and 5th fingers on all the lines of the treble clef, keeping your thumb on G. Okay, so let's practice that. We're gonna be, all right, and then you're gonna open up your hand to this 7th position. Okay, see if you can play all 4 of those notes. Now, once you feel comfortable doing that, let's try playing what's written there. Okay, that's the 4th line, the 5th line, the 3rd line, the 2nd line. All right, 5. And then as soon as you're done playing that, close your hand back on the G minor. Okay? That's really important that you keep your thumb on G, otherwise you'll lose your point of reference, okay? So let's try that from measure 9. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. And we're in G minor. Now we're going to open up every line. Back to G minor. Go to F. And stay in F. And it happens again. Same thing. What we just played. Okay? Now practice that until you feel a little comfortable with that. All right. Let's talk about putting this hands together. Okay? As I mentioned earlier, your most important objective here is to keep your left hand going steadily. And that's going to be hard to do once you add your right hand. All right? So before we try to do the entire thing, let's try to play our offbeat figure in measure 6, hands together. All right? So the left hand's playing the beats. The right hand is playing the offbeats. And you're going to meet on the downbeat of measure 7. And just do that really slowly. To do that just a few times, all right? So if I were you at home, I would just cycle those 2 measures, maybe 5 to 10 times at least, or at least just keep cycling it until it feels comfortable. And once it feels comfortable, do it another 3 or 4 times just to kind of reinforce yourself in playing it. So okay? All right, so when you're playing it hands together, up until that point, just go slow. Don't try to go the speed that I played at the demonstration video, okay? So we'll go. You can even go slower than this. Just try to keep your left hand going steadily. Change positions. And left hand changes. Here's the offbeats. And this is the 3/4 bar. Get louder. And go up an octave. Now we're going to open up. Back to G. To F. And E flat in the left hand. Here's the offbeats. same thing. You try to get softer here. All right, now let's have a look at the very last two measures. All right, now in the last two measures, you see this chord there, right? It's just a set of fourths. It's 2 fourths in a row. Okay, so just read the notes slowly from the bottom to the top. You have a G, a C, and an F, right? And the left hand has also a set of fourths, but it's not the same set of fourths. It's D, G, C, okay? Now what's really important here is there's no more movement going on, so please count your beats, all right? So it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we play hands together in octaves, our theme to finish off, okay? And they have a little pedal marking underneath that. You can do that if you like. I recommend it because they marked it there, but it's not really going to make a huge difference to the sound, in my opinion. So let's try it again. 4, 1, 2, pedal, 4, 1, 2, theme. All right, and that's the end of the piece. Okay, so good luck with your preparations, and we'll see you in the next video. That's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking on that like button and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.